Let no man judge you in food or drink. Colossians 2, verse 16 and 17. Sunday Christianity will use these verses in Colossians to prove that we're not obligated to keep the dietary laws of the Torah, that we may now eat any meat, clean or unclean, and no longer need to keep the Sabbath in today's faith. Colossians 2, verse 16 and 17 says, "Therefore let no one pass judgment on you in questions of food and drink, or with regard to a festival, or a new moon, or a Sabbath. These are a shadow of the things to come, but the substance belongs to Messiah." The assembly of Colossae was a city located in modern-day Turkey. The city was a major trading route for several surrounding cities. This was a melting pot of a city, and caused it to become the usual heathen-style pagan culture. So, when the assembly of Colossae was planted, they stood out in the Colossian city with their Hebrew faith in Yeshua. One way they stood out was when they would gather and have a feast on the seventh-day Sabbath, or when they would gather for a feast on Passover and any other Leviticus 23 feast. So Paul writes to them saying, "Let now no man, heathen, pagan, judge you for your feasts on the Sabbath or any other new moon feast days, for they are all a tutor and shadow of the good news in Yeshua Messiah, the substance." Again, Colossians 2, 16 and 17 says, "Therefore let no one pass judgment on you in questions of food and drink, feasts and eating clean, or with regard to a festival or a new moon," that is a feast day, "or a Sabbath. These are a shadow of the things to come, but the substance belongs to Messiah." Notice he never says anything about abolishing the Sabbath or feasts, but that you should continue in them, knowing people will judge you. But don't let the heathen condemn you for following the Messiah, who also kept the feasts and ate clean. To conclude, these verses are used often by Sunday Christianity, who try to use these verses to justify eating unclean or to justify breaking the Sabbath. But a careful reading of these verses actually helps our side out, the Torah observant side. For Paul was encouraging the assembly to keep on practicing the law, eating clean, keeping the Sabbath and the feasts, for they all point to Yeshua's first and second coming. Romans 3:31, Paul says, "Do we then overthrow the law by this faith? By no means. May it never be. On the contrary, we uphold the law." Praise Yah. Please subscribe. Thank you and shalom.